So what is going on,
Man,
bro?
I don't know, G.
What in the world is like? Okay, we asked for the beef, and it was called corny for a little bit, and last night, what's today?
Today is
the 4th. May the 3rd. It's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, my son.
Hey,
but
like
May the 3rd, 2024 will go down in hip hop history. With the amount of diss that were thrown in the span of time that it was. So we got a lot to talk about with this diss between Drake and Kendrick. But let's start with not how it started, but let's start with Kendrick's response in Euphoria. Move on to the next response that he sent with 616 in LA. And we're going to get into Drake's Family Matters and also Kendrick's Meet the Grahams. All right. So I will say this before we get started with everything. My good brother, Jermaine Lamar Cole, we understand now.
We understand, brother. We're looking at the camera at you, bro. We understand.
Yeah, we understand now. The 2-day return to Cinder was warranted.
Sure.
Because
for sure.
These brothers do not like each other.
They don't.
Kendrick and Drake. But let's start with Euphoria. Sticks, I think we have a difference of opinion on this one.
I think we do.
How do you feel about Euphoria?
Me personally, I listened to it probably about 4 or 5 times. You know, the first time I listened to it, I think I listened to it on the way to work, and I listened to it when I got to work because I got a little bit of time before I get to work before I get started. But I messaged you and told you I thought it was mid. D-Lo was like, huh? Like, what are you talking about? Like, bro, go back and listen again. Like, go back and listen again. So I listened to it probably about 3 or 4 more times. I always pick up on lyrics and I understand the jabs that he was throwing. I just didn't think it was a good diss all around. When me and D-Lo talked about it earlier in the week, he mentioned something that I think is true. I don't like whenever Kendrick is theatrical. I can't stand when he changing voice and being weird. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I love Kendrick's music. Don't get me wrong. I've listened to every single one of his albums. My favorite album, of course, is the classic Good Kid, Mad City. So I love Kendrick's music. I don't like the theatrics. And I think that's what kind of messed me up in Euphoria. But the disrespect was there. The disrespect was definitely there. You know what I'm saying? Like the cease and desist, talking about, get shit with a throwaway. Talking about a lot, you know what I'm saying? He talked about a lot of stuff in that diss. I just didn't think it was good all around as a diss track. You know what I'm saying? And and speaking of that, there was a lot of people in the hip hop community, such as DJ Academics, Gilly the Kid, Cam and Mace on they podcast. It is what it is. Everybody was saying like the diss is corny right now. Everything was corny. That's what Gilly the Kid said. Cam and Mace was saying that, it don't feel dangerous enough. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel disrespectful enough, but they came back with it. But what did you think about Euphoria?
I mean, so I've told you this last night, but I don't do well on the first listen of anything.
Yeah.
So I had to listen to it a couple times.
For sure.
I mean, even with the stuff that was released last night, other than Kendrick's, because I mean,
it was thrown right at you. Yeah, facts.
Easily, yeah. But even with the ones that have been released lately, I don't know anything. It don't matter who it is. It could be, I don't know. It just takes me a while to digest it. I hear it, but I don't digest it well. So the first listen, I kind of was like, okay, this is all right, but that's just me anyway. Anything. But when I listened to it again, I felt like it was the perfect rebuttal to push-ups.
Okay.
Because everything Drake said about him and his contracts, his height, his lady, all that stuff, he responded in Euphoria, right? So Drake talked about his splits. He said, but you signed to a nigga that signed to a nigga that signed to another nigga. Yeah, facts. You know what I mean? facts. Let's really talk about splits here. You talking about mine, let's talk about yours. He also talked about Drake being a culture vulture potentially. And I know there's something that you didn't really rock with. He talked about that. He talked about him acting, change his acting history, but then realistically, he's still been acting it throughout his whole time in hip hop. not really being a part. It's raining loud. It's raining hard outside, so bro.
Fight through it, brother.
He's he just talked about a lot of stuff. Not being a good dad, obviously, him changing accents and whatnot. And I know a lot of people don't like Kendrick's delivery sometimes because it, like you said, it is weird. He does do these theatrics. He does put a lot of artsy type feel in it. It gives you a lot of Easter eggs that you wouldn't think that are Easter eggs in his raps and in his tracks. So it does take a lot to comb through and to figure out and to really understand what he's saying. A lot of bars will go over your head, which is what a lot of the hip hop community is saying. Like, man, we just want to hear what you're saying with the wordplay, right? We don't want to have to go through all of this rap research, is what it's being called, to figure out what you're saying. Right. Whereas Drake on the flip side he's giving you the catchiness, the pop, if you will, of who he is. He's giving you the bangers, but it's not that hard to digest, whereas Kendrick is. Long story short, I felt like it was a good rebuttal though, to push-ups because of everything that he addressed. He came right back and addressed everything to Drake's push-ups.
I agree. And D-Lo said it, but what I didn't really mess with was, moving forward, I kind of feel like why Kendrick is saying it, and if this is the truth, then I can agree with Kendrick. But I just don't like the whole narrative of him being a bad dad whenever, we all know that that Adonis's mother was a mattress actress, and she ain't really working like that. He got to bring in all the bread, so and the way that these days a lot of money ain't made off album sales. So you tour. That's what J. Cole was saying in his albums. Like, you gotta work to get this bread now in the music industry. You gotta tour. You gotta do shows. And that's what Drake is doing, man. Right. Drake came off a tour with 21 Savage and then went right on the tour with J. Cole. So like he bringing in the bread. And, he said in a diss after that he going about to go on vacation. So y'all niggas can do what y'all want to do. But he gotta bring in money, bro. Like he working, and whenever he not working, he with Adonis, and we see it on social media. But from what Kendrick said, he got some more stuff going on. But I'm gonna let D-Lo intro that.
Well, I think though, talking about what you just talked about, I think he is saying what Kendrick was saying about Drake is not, let alone that you have additional children, but he's addressing the acting portion of Drake. Right. And so he's saying you're acting as if you're ever present in your son's life, but that's not the case. Whereas me, I take my time putting out stuff because I'm living a normal life, trying to anyway. And then when the time comes, I get the inspiration. I'll release the music on my own time. I'm not feeling the pressures of the industry like you are, or needing the attention like you are, in order to put music out to feel like I'm still relevant. I know I'm relevant. And when I put stuff out, the numbers reflect that.
Facts.
I also think what I didn't mention is, and I can wrap it up after this. I also think in Euphoria, he did a great job of picking at Drake's character lightly. Like he didn't fully go into it, as we saw later on. He just kind of like opened it up, like, let's think about this. Let's think about this. Let's think about this. And another thing that you said earlier in the week was you didn't like how he piggybacked off of arguments that others had said. I thought it was brilliant that he did that, because that's how you win the public opinion most time. If everybody's saying it, let me talk about it, but in a different manner.
And that's also, kind of saying that, the old saying goes, if more than one person is saying it, and it's got to be true, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, just listen to it because it's got to be true if more than one person is telling you this. But yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah. So then he follows up with 616 in LA.
But that was in response to, why do I always forget the name of the one he did with Pac and Snoop?
Taylor Made, which was taken down.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so he responded with, he followed up Euphoria with 616 in LA and did a back-to-back. He pulled a Drake
on Drake.
How you feel about this?
The 616 in LA one was that one to me was way better than Euphoria. because he wasn't initially he was into the theatrics, so he was kind of singing and talking about himself and, you know what I'm saying, staring in the mirror and talking about God and angels and stuff like that, which is cool. But then he jumped in and kicked off talking about DJ Academics, talking about trying to get brownie points, conspiracies, coming out saying that, you know what I'm saying, he got 100 niggas on this team, but a lot of them ready to see his downfall and say that he deserved this beef, that deserved the cooking that Kendrick Lamar is giving him. It was a lot to digest, but at the same time, it was more like he was opening up another, because in the Euphoria he was like, we ain't really got to go there, but if you want to, like, we could go there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some info that you might, you know what I'm saying, might want to try to keep off wax, but I could go there if you really want to go there type. You know what I'm saying? And then he started open up Pandora's box a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, bruh, it's getting messy. D-Lo texts me like, bruh, like it's starting to get messy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because like, because even Kendrick piggybacked again off of the 20v1 line that Drake dropped in push-ups, and he was like, what you mean 20v1? It's a 1v20 on your side because you got 20 Ghost Riders, so if you really want to bring them out, I can dog on them too. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, it started getting crazy. Yeah, exactly. It was, so I'm like, bruh, like it and apparently he's telling Drake, like, you might want to look into your camp, because they really the ones that's giving me all this info. So you got a rat in your camp, dog. Go check back behind the scenes right there beside you, because you got somebody right there beside you that's letting me know all this propaganda. So we gonna see what happens. What did you think about 616 in LA?
Yeah, so for me, this was warning shot number 2. This was like, all right, listen, I gave you one just to say, I know some stuff. You might want to chill. This one was like, all right, I'm gonna have to do this. So Lord, let me pray to God that what he did. He understands. He understands that I'm still a good kid, but this dude is just trying to bring the devil out of me. And that's what happened. Like he basically in 616 in LA, he said, I'm sorry I live a boring life. I love peace, but war ready if the world's ready to see him bleed.
Then he got into it.
Okay. and then he got into it in the one that we're talking about, the last of the discs that have come out thus far. And then he also, you alluded to him having a mole in his camp, and Kendrick says, are you finally ready to play Have You Ever? That's another thing. In Euphoria, this man played Have You Ever with Drake on that track. And he continues the Have You Ever game here. He's like, have you ever played, are you finally ready to play Have You Ever? Okay, let's see. Have you ever thought that OVO was working for me? And so that could be, you could look at it a couple of different ways, because I think OVO is underneath Cash Money and all that. Cash Money is underneath
I think Universal. Yeah.
And I think, well, that would defeat, I was going to say Universal is underneath Interscope, but Interscope is underneath Universal, right? Okay, so never mind what I was about to say. But yeah, so then he goes on to say, like, you know, there's individuals that, like you said, that are sitting next to you that are really trying to see your downfall, maybe potentially even get you hurt. They definitely are hustling you right now. They're definitely, you know, giving information about your whereabouts and the things that they want. They're living off of your lifestyle, so on and so forth. So I mean, so Drake, he got not one but 2 warning shots before it got to the horror film that we witnessed last night with Kendrick's last one.
The 616 was the one where he was like, okay, they saying Euphoria was corny because of all the theatrics. So let me just pray real quick and hit him with the punch. So that's what I liked about 616. I think 616 was a better diss than Euphoria, because number one, he was, like I said, he was, you know, other than the first like minute of the song when he was praying, he was in like a little, you know, melodic voice a little bit, but he punched him from there on out after he got finished with his prayer. And I like that straight to the point, straightforward. Like, just talk to me, bro. Give me the info. I don't need all the, you know, the Nicki Minaj kind of energy. I don't need all that. I don't give me. I don't like it when she do it either. So don't give me that. Just punch the nigga in the face. And that's what he did with it. So
I don't know. I appreciate it though, man. I don't know why. Like I appreciate like it's a lot of stuff with Kendrick. Sometimes I can't really stomach. I like him as an artist, but his music as a whole, I'll be honest, and I'll probably get a lot of slack for this. Out of the quote unquote big three, he's number 3 as far as a person that I listen to. That's not saying that he's number 3 on the list, but I find myself listening to his music a lot less than I listen to Cole and Drake. Cole, obviously, because he's from Fayetteville. Like I've said before, I'm supporting him however it goes down.
Right.
Drake is the pop artist. He makes the music that everybody can listen to, that you can play in multiple settings. Kendrick's going to play that music that is the revolutionary. It has a lot of racial undertones, a lot of things that need to be changed about
the world itself,
our living conditions, so on and so forth. Right, the world in itself, Tupac-ish, if you will.
Agreed. That's a good analogy. That's a good comparison.
But like, it's not to say he doesn't make good music, because he does. It's just it can get kind of taxing to the brain trying to understand what he's saying.
Agreed. I agree with that.
So this is where the messy really starts to kick in.
Out. Yes, it does.
You got Drake released last night at I think 11 or 11 sometime in that range. He releases Family Matters, and basically Drake is saying, "Oh, you trying to say that I'm not who I am? Okay, well, let's talk about you, Kendrick. Let's pull out some of your skeletons and the things that you say that you doing and what you actually doing out here." What's up with this one? How you felt about this?
So this one was a good diss too to me. He was he was talking about how, you know, he's still being he's still cheating on his wife because he don't go back home to Compton, but he got a house in New York to live that bachelor life because he still ain't right. Like, he talked about it in Mr. Morale and the Big Step. He talked about it how he was, you know, how all the infidelity was going on with him and his wife, but him and Whitney. But Drake saying, "Oh yeah, we know, because it's still going on up here in New York, but you don't want to go back to Compton. You ain't really going back to Compton for real. You really you're not doing nothing in your community like you say you are." You know what I'm saying? Then talked about how he really like white women, but he keeps saying Drake not to say the N-word no more. But then he talked about, you know, DV and, you know, domestic violence DV, and how he beat, you know, he was like, do you be beating her up thinking it's self-defense because she bigger than you? That was kind of funny. I was like, bro, y'all niggas wow. But it was like, dog, like, y'all really, they really get it. And did you see the video of the diss track? When he had time to
put a
video out of him beating up the Good Kid, Mad City van, basically destroying the van. I'm like, yo, y'all is going crazy.
He went to the New Ho King restaurant.
So
that's the real winner of this.
The real winner of this whole thing is that restaurant, for real, because that restaurant is making money right now, bro. Like, he's making money right now, but they going crazy, bro. Like, he even came out and said that one of K Dot's children is really Dave Freeze. Dave Freeze, if I'm not mistaken, is his manager, I believe. Kendrick's manager. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he said didn't Drake said it in his in the rhyme. He was like, "It's crazy your GM is the BD of your BM."
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says because your GM is the he says don't make it Dave Freeze, because because if your GM is your BM secret BD, then this is all making plenty fucking sense to me. So yeah, bro. Yeah. And then he goes on to say about he talks about hands on your knees, shake that ass for Drake, not shake that ass for free. That was funny to me too. So like, I was like, yo, this is crazy, bro. Like, they really going crazy on each other, and they just bringing out a lot of skeletons in the closet that, you know, ain't nobody really know. And if all of these things are true, they both are hitting with some. This is probably one of the best disses ever, because you would have diss tracks in the past. Of course, you know, you got Hit 'Em Up, you got Ether, you got Takeover, you got No Vaseline. All of them were just one song they might have came back one time and then it was squashed. These mugs going hit for hit, low key, like round for round, like low key, like it's battle rap for real. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's entertaining for sure, but it's getting messy, and if it keep going, it's gonna get even messier. What you think about me? What you think about Family Medicine?
I feel like it was a lot of information that Drake released in this one. But I'll be honest with you, dog.
You didn't mess with Family Medicine?
I like the. I can't say I like the information that was released because I mean it's damaging, and we want to try to keep the peace as well as we can, but I don't know if we can keep it now.
These days it ain't happening.
And we like drama. The world likes drama, so this is where the drama begins and where the mess
Too
starts,
complex
right?
don't particularly like drama, but the world does. It says
yeah. Too complex doesn't like drama. There you go. Good. I'm glad you dressed that up. But it's just I don't know. I think it was the switching. Like he was trying to switch like Kendrick did in Euphoria, and it
didn't hit like that for you.
It didn't hit like that. Like I said, it takes me a couple times to listen to something, and when I first heard, I was like, oh, he talking about this, oh, he talking about that. But then when I listened again, I'm like, okay, yeah, he talking about that. Why is he rapping like that? Like that second one. The second was the I didn't really like that.
The K, you ain't fuck with the cadence. I actually like the cadence. I mean, because it wasn't.
I didn't really like that.
Because it was to me. If you gonna rap like that fluid throughout. Don't change it up. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me, because with Euphoria, he'll start off with one cadence and one beat, and then he'd be high pitch, low pitch, high pitch, low pitch. Then he'll go to real low. Then he'll go back to high again. I'm like, bro, just fucking rap, nigga, just rap. Like, what are you doing? But this one, it was to me, it was cool. I messed with it. You know what I'm saying? It was. But what really hit? I mean, if you can, I guess it's kind of contradictory to what I said about Kendrick, but I can mess with it if you in that melodic voice, you actually flowing and you hitting some really hard information, then cool. But that's what K-Dot was doing in Euphoria, and I didn't really like it like that. I thought it was mid. But the thing we didn't talk about though was the fact that Kendrick and Euphoria made it seem like Drake sent a cease and desist, but he according to Drake, he didn't send a cease and desist for like that. What happened? According to Drake, he ain't seen a cease and desist. But then he talked about how it was really Kendrick that sent Tupac's lawyer to him to take. Why do I keep forgetting the name of that song, bro? Taylor Made, to get Taylor Made taken down as well. So I mean, it's a lot going on. There was a lot going on, man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so let's talk about that. Yeah, because we did forget to talk about that, and I did mention how in Euphoria, Kendrick was picking at the characteristics of Drake, and he was piggybacking on a lot of the arguments that others people have made prior to in other battles or beefs that Drake has had in the past and in the present as well. And so with the cease and desist, who else said that he sent the cease and desist?
Rick Ross did, didn't he? Yeah,
Rick Ross said it. So that's a pattern, right? That's a pattern. And in court, if you can prove a pattern of criminal activity, usually you can get the person convicted.
Facts.
Right. And so if he sent it one time and then we don't know exactly why he did it for French Montana's project, according to because Rick Ross said it. We don't know why he did it, but we can only imagine that if he's done it before, he'll do it again. But then he has an actual motive to send a cease and desist for like that. One, because it's three people teaming up against him, and then two, because of the volatility that Kendrick came on the track with. So we can understand if he's done it before, he definitely would do it again with this particular track. The other one is Pusha T's argument is you hit a kid from the world that nobody knew about, and you were about to like do a press run with his name or whatever being a part of the Adidas run, but then you backed out of that. So no. You gonna show these kids and Meet the Grams. he does it again. So I feel like again, Kendrick, I know a lot of people don't like Kendrick because of, or it's hard to follow Kendrick because of the theatrics, because of the amount of activity that you actually have to do, thought that you have to put into what he's saying. But when he goes full circle, it's like, oh, okay, I see what you was doing the whole time. Like in Euphoria, he says, I can tell you calculated. What did he say about being calculated? I can tell you calculated, but not. I gotta look it up.
Honestly,
yeah, let me look it up real quick. But basically, he was saying like, I already know how this is gonna go. Like you're trying to dictate how this is gonna go, but I've been planning this for quite some time. I already know what you're gonna say. I already know what you're gonna the diss that you're trying to pull on me. He basically said, superpowers get neutralized. I can only watch in silence. I calculate you're not as calculated. I can predict your every angle, fabrication stories on the family front because you heard Mr. Morale. So he's like, okay, I know you're gonna talk about my family. Cool.
Because Drake did bring up the aunt. He said, I want to talk to your uncle, the real man in the house, which he was talking about the aunt that transitioned, and yeah.
Right. And so I brought all of that up because before the last two had been released, when he released Euphoria, it had been hinted that he had a 19-minute track that he recorded against Drake. And so if that is the case, he
literally dropped 3 6-minute tracks, 6 minutes and some change tracks. So yeah.
Right. Well, the second one was
like 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes. Yeah.
6. Yeah. So he definitely had this all planned out and tied it up real nice with a bow, leading into Meet the Grams. And this is
that's the one
where it gets messy. And for me, the theme for me has been, it takes me, I gotta listen to it multiple times. It ain't taking me multiple times on this one. The first one, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, damn. Yeah. So how you feel about
Meet
this
the
one?
Grams was a letter to Drake's family, literally. He talked about Adonis. He talked about Sandra, who was his mom. He talked about Dennis, who was his dad. He alluded to a secret baby girl that Drake got out there, and then talked.
He said that. We didn't say that.
No. Did I say we?
No, I know.
Yeah.
No. I'm just saying. I'm playing. That's what he said. We didn't say
facts.
that.
Not facts. Then he alluded to a secret baby girl. Then he left a message for Drake. I'm like, bro, you talking to Adonis as if he's your stepson. Then talking to his kids saying that they raised a piece of shit son, and saying that his parents correct.
His parents, correct. His kids.
He talked to his parents, Dennis and Sandra, saying that they raised a piece of shit son, and he thinks people like him should be offed, basically.
Right.
Then talk to the baby girl, saying like, you don't want to grow up in the atmosphere that your dad is portraying, making him seem like he another Diddy, basically. And then was talking to Drake, like bro, like it's one of them things. It's one of them diss tracks that you, like D-Lo said, you ain't got to listen to 2 or 3 times to understand. You understand immediately. Right. You understand exactly what he's saying. So like this one is one that if Drake does have something else in the clip, he gonna have to fire off. I know he said in Family Matters that he was gonna take a vacation. Nah, bro. Delay that, because this is one that you got to let us know, like, is this true? Like, do you have some more illegitimate kids that you ain't telling us about, that you ain't taking care of? Like, is this for real? And that's where I kind of flipped on his head, because in Euphoria I was like, man, all this talk about being a bad dad, I'm sensitive to that. D-Lo know that. Like, I have changed my whole world, low key, my whole life. I moved across country, drove cross country, just to be closer to my daughter, to be able to have that relationship with her. Like, so I changed my whole life around to be a good dad. And it's sensitive to me whenever they talk about other guys not being good fathers, whenever not that I think that they are, but I see that they putting in some effort, so to speak. Especially somebody like Drake, who has a career, who's on the road, who's an entertainer, who the time that he has, I would like to think that he's spending it with his son, even if people do think he was hiding from the world. But then this one, It's like, nah, bro, like you got some more out there that you ain't taking care of. You only taking care of Adonis because somebody else brought him out. So now you're gonna have to do something with this one because I'm talking about it. So like so that's where they flipped on his head, like, dang, is he really a deadbeat for real? Like, do I really need to rethink what I thought about in Euphoria? So I was like, okay, cool. What did you think about Meet the Grahams?
So I originally, when I first heard it, I remember I told you I felt like I was watching a soap opera. When I listened to it the other 4 times, I felt like I was watching a horror film.
it was a silent room in this.
Yeah, because like when you thought Drake had put out the nuclear missile that everybody said that he had in the clip, Kendrick immediately comes back with this, and then like you said, he just talked to everybody that he possibly could to tell them about Drake and their role that they had with raising Drake, or creating Drake to be the person that he is today. And even so going so far as to talk about Adonis and then this unknown daughter, and then possibly others out there as well. But then at the end, once he addresses all of those individuals, he comes to Drake and just basically slashes him. Death by 1,000 cuts. Like, just again picking at his character of who he is, or who he allegedly is. Again, Kendrick said that. We didn't say that. It was just a massacre.
It was.
And it was 6 minutes long, and from tip to buzzer. I said tip to buzzer. I didn't say tip to. Yep.
I'm glad to hear you, right?
Yep.
Nope. Yep. Can't do it.
Yep. Can't do it. I said tip to buzzer.
I feel you.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll go one better for you. From tip off to buzzer. There you go. Yeah. But from start to finish, everything was directed at Drake. Heavy, easy to understand, easy to digest. It wasn't really like a lot of lyricism in it, but he pieced it together very well. And this is the thing about why the dissing and the beefs, to me, I know it gets a lot of energy. I know it gets a lot of attention. I know it is what we quote unquote want to see, but not really, because when it gets to this point, it's just like, for me anyway, I'm like, damn, we need to piece it up now. Like, all right, y'all say what y'all need to say.
It's on the fight.
all of the cats out the bag, the skeletons out the closet, the dirt has been digged, the graves are ready to be laid, covered up. Yeah, I mean, nah, man,
now you gotta fight. You gotta fight now.
We can't. It's no coming back from this now. Like, they gotta, whenever they are in anywhere within a mile of each other, they automatically gotta meet up and throw their hands.
Facts.
I mean, Kendrick just let everything out. So, I mean, the stuff that was implied in this track, the eerie beat, it was just blood everywhere. That's why I'm like, that was a horror.
Yeah,
film.
I agree with you, bro. Like, who you think winning the beef right now?
I think Kendrick is winning the beef.
I think
honestly,
winning the beef too. And that's correct.
It's just with that last one.
The last one is really the one that hit the nail on the coffin. Was the nail in the coffin, because it's a lot of things in there said that he talking directly to his family, bro, and alluding to an illegitimate child that he's not claiming, or not. He might claim her, but he's not showing it to the world. And he's acting, man. That was the one. That was the one.
Yeah. It's just like, so Drake thought, all right, he said what he needed to say. He got his 2 out of the way. Let me go ahead and release this nuclear missile about what I know, what I found out, and let me go on a duck off, because this is going to be over. Nobody's going with him.
Yeah.
But then literally 30 minutes later, Kendrick came back with more of a nuclear missile. He released his nuclear, and then it was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad, bro. It was pretty bad. So, yeah, I mean, y'all let us know in the comment section who y'all think is winning the beef. If y'all even interested in the beef, if the beef is entertaining to y'all, you know what I'm saying? If you think it's corny, if you think, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was corny initially. I don't know how D-Lo felt. I think he might have thought it was kind of, it was what it was. But I thought it was corny initially, but over the past 2 days, over the past 48 hours, it got real. It got real. Yeah. So is this what y'all wanted? Basically, because this is what everybody was saying in the media, that it don't sound dangerous enough. It's corny. It don't sound like, hit them up.
That's,
it don't
to
sound
me,
like whatever.
Dumb,
so, but see, when you think of battle rap, when you think of rap beef, you think people are going to come out and say, they just going to be, it's going to be in your face, like, I'm talking to you, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is what I feel about you, your family, the team you roll with, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what Jay-Z, Nas did. That's what Ice Cube did. That's what Biggie and Pac, but that's what Pac did. They always assumed that Who Shot You was about Tupac. Who knows if it was or not? The media made it seem like it was, but that's what they did. They talked directly to somebody, and it was hard hitting information, this, that, and the third. So this didn't start off like that. It didn't start off like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now, if we got beef, people were saying it was corny. Now it's beef. Now they got beef. So who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I get that, man. But, you referenced the Pac Biggie one and how the media blew that up. And now with social media, you have all of these reactors and whatnot reacting to this stuff. You have the media itself reacting to it and giving their take on it. We all know, like, the media put stuff out of proportion. They spin stuff for their narrative. And we don't really know these individuals. For sure. We can only assume, like they're releasing this information. Is it true? We have no idea if it is or not. But because it's on wax, because they're saying it in the manner that they're saying it, in the situation that they're saying it, in the moment, we're taking it for what it is and believing that is to be true. So there are people that these individuals are actually hurting, and these individuals that are around them could be dangerous or not. I don't know. Maybe their families aren't dangerous, but we all know that they have entourages and whatnot who serve a purpose. It could get, I hope it doesn't. I pray it doesn't, but it could get actually dangerous. And so when people say it's not dangerous enough, to me, that's ignorant.
Agreed. I can dig that. I can dig that.
Let's keep it on wax. Let's say what we need to say, where we kind of get to that point to where it's like, oh no, you can't say that. But
but you just said they got to piece it up now.
That's what I'm saying. They got to piece it up. When I say piece it up, I mean they just got to be like, all right, we said we need to say, like, bro,
peace,
all right,
like piece of happiness, not
peace.
Not throw the ones type.
No, not throwing the ones and twos. I'm talking about like actually balls. Dead and everything. Yeah. I'm talking about dead and it. Like, all right, we said we need to say, I don't like you, you don't like me. We ain't saying nothing else. Cool. All right, we get
That's
it.
A fact.
But
I hear you.
I don't feel like it ain't gonna be that. It's just
Drake gonna have to say something else. He gonna have. If he don't, then cool. Then it's pieced up. But just know that Kendrick won the beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, if you really want to win, you got to say something else and address this letter that he said.
I mean, he said, "Let me see you push a T. You better all spin it back on him than pushing me." And now I see he was not playing.
Oh, you still here. So that must mean you love the content. And if that is the case, there's a video on the screen right here. Go ahead and click that, view that. We think you're going to love that one as well. And we still have the 600 subscriber goal. And if you see the top right-hand corner, there's a button on the screen. Go ahead and click that, subscribe to the channel. And we're on all your streaming platforms, wherever you find your podcast.